As soon as y'all come in the building, this is breaking news. This man can't get a break for nothing. And I'm not taking up for Diddy Glover. He's getting what he deserved. But everybody that was a friend of his completely turned their backs on Diddy Glover. Salute to Kelly. Salute to Love Chops. Top 3 CRT. It is over for Diddy Glover. I told y'all that that drug mule was going to tell on Diddy Glover. Y'all gotta understand that Brendan, he's not about that life. What did y'all think he was supposed to do? Brendan was the Justin Bieber times 10. And now the man that collapsed in his motherfucking cell. In his attempt to throw Jay-Z and Jay-Z's hair in his situation. Diddy Glover, it is over. You're looking at life in prison. You got no new friends. No new friends. No new. I gotta get it together. We must blow out the freak off candles. Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Welcome back. I know y'all be telling me, why am I always motherfucking crying? Look at this shit. Why am I always crying? Well, there's always some breaking news that's happening with Diddy motherfucking Glover. We must blow out the freak off candles. They done found him buck ass naked. Why does this man keep falling out and collapsing with no clothes on? Pure survival. I don't know if the guards caught him trying to have a sex affair with his cellmate. They found Diddy Glover down on his motherfucking knees. They said Diddy was on his knees trying to pray to God to come and save him. Pure survival. But Diddy Glover, what you don't understand is that the alleged victims, they were praying to God on their knees too, sir. Pure survival. You know what I'm saying? You could have been on your knees. You could have collapsed to your knees to perform oral sex during survival. But ladies and gentlemen, salute to all of y'all. I said this when that white boy, motherfucking Brendan, got locked up. Pure survival. I knew that boy was going to snitch on Diddy Glover. I knew he was going to tell on motherfucking Diddy. Pure survival. He was supposed to have been buying the sex workers. That white boy was loading the guns for Diddy Glover. He was greasing Diddy Glover's freak off back during survival. Imagine how much freaky shit that white boy witnessed during survival. And he agreed to testify against Diddy. For anybody that don't want to believe that, you lost your mind. That boy got caught with Diddy Glover with guns, drugs, all types of shit. And all of his charges got dropped. Pure survival. And they cleaned his whole entire record during survival. Only thing they left on his record was, sir, you got caught with Diddy Glover. Now, you did this 6-month drug program, pure survival, good motherfucker boy, good boy, but you're still going to have to snitch on Diddy Glover. And that boy agreed to testify. Allegedly, he witnessed Diddy Glover do stuff to minors, everything. So, of course, that man's going to fall out buck-ass naked, pure survival. Falling out on his knees. They taking him down to the motherfucking nurse office. All types of shit. Diddy is losing his mind, his hair, everything in that fucking jail cell. Pure survival. Y'all got to get them likes up. They done let Brendan out of jail. They done dropped all his charges. And anytime that happens, you better motherfucker believe that that person is snitching during survival. And I said that that boy was going to snitch. He got all his charges dropped. So imagine how wonderful and great that boy was in there snitching during survival. He was telling like a motherfucker. They done brought him Chipotle. They brought him Chipotle in there. Pure survival. Chipotle in a Marlboro Light and let him sit there and smoke and tell everything on Diddy Glover. And Diddy Glover is sick. This is crazy.
He was named Sean Diddy Combs' drug and gun mule in a civil lawsuit, but today he was cleared criminally from any charges in Miami-Dade County. Now, today, state attorneys dropped a drug charge against Brendan Paul that he had received the day Diddy's Miami mansion was raided.
ABC6 reporter Christian Cologne joins us to explain.
In March, gates were busted and federal agents sworn into multiple mansions belonging to Sean Diddy Combs, including in Miami. Those raids led police to charge Diddy with sex trafficking and racketeering after finding guns, drugs, large amounts of baby oil, and lubricant related to alleged violent sex events.
Drugs, guns, and dozens of pounds of motherfucking baby oil. Pure survival. And Brendan had to go get the baby oil. Like I told y'all, that man had to grease. He had to grease and oil down the freak off mermaids. Pure survival. Brendan witnessed Diddy Glover clapping multiple cheeks. I'm talking about grown men, little boys, allegedly, pure survival. That white boy was the one that was bringing the drugs to Diddy Glover. He was a part of the whole goddamn freak off saga, pure survival. And he was paying for the sex workers to fly out. And you telling me all his charges got dropped during survival? If I was Diddy Glover, I'd pass the fuck out too. Pure survival. Remove my socks. Remove my prison uniform. Let me just be buck-ass naked. Lord, please. Oh my God. And Jay-Z is getting away. I want him in here with me. This is crazy, guys. Brendan is testifying. Y'all got to get them likes up. He's snitching on motherfucking Diddy Glover. But y'all should have known that. That white boy, Brendan, looked like one of the white boys from Revenge of the Nerds. Pure survival. That motherfucker ain't never did a day in jail. He's a goddamn nerd, Diddy Glover. You tried to turn him out by buttering his biscuit. Pure survival. But what makes you think he not going to tell on you? What makes you think that, dude?
In March, gates were busted and federal agents sworn into multiple mansions belonging to Sean Diddy Combs, including in Miami. Those raids led police to charge Diddy with sex trafficking and racketeering after finding guns, drugs, large amounts of baby oil, and lubricant related to alleged violent sex events, according to records.
Brendan Paul on page 16, please.
But a couple of miles away from Star Island, where one of those raids was happening, police caught Brendan Paul with a package of cocaine at the Opelika exec.
Look at this shit. We talking about Brendan motherfucker Paul. We ain't talking about Jake Paul. Pure survival. Brendan got caught with all this goddamn nose candy. He got caught with all of this powder during survival, ladies and gentlemen, hanging out with Diddy Glover. He got a freak off bag that they put the freak off concoction in your system, pure survival. And he had all the goddamn cocaine in the goddamn world. It looked like it was snowing during survival. And they let this boy out and dropped all of his charges. I mean, completely wiped his record away. Pure survival. All he had to do was a 6-month freak off program. Hey, you're on drugs. Just do a 6-month program. You should have known that they was going to tell on you, Diddy Glover. There's no way they was going to get that white boy a deal. Pure survival. Because they knew he didn't belong with you. They knew that you turned him out during survival. We can only imagine the freak off shit that you probably had Brendan doing during survival. It looked like it was sperm caught in his spikes. When they locked him up, it looked like it was sperm stuck in between his spikes. Pure survival. This shit is crazy. This boy is telling on Diddy.
But a couple of miles away from Star Island, where one of those raids was happening, police caught Brendan Paul with a package of cocaine at the Opelika Executive Airport. The 25-year-old was arrested for possessing drugs, but today his record was wiped out after Miami-Dade prosecutors say he successfully completed a 6-month pretrial diversion program, which included a drug substance abuse course.
Do you hear that? He was able, 25 years old, Diddy Glover. You shouldn't have been with that little motherfucker boy. You are 600 and something years old, pure Bible, sitting there hanging with this little 25-year-old that was doing something with his life and you turned him out during survival, Diddy Glover. Hey, so you can't be mad at that boy for telling on you. He did the right thing. You ain't mad at Jay. Well, you are mad at Jay-Z, but look at Jay-Z. Jay-Z act like he never was your friend before. Pure Bible. Jay-Z said, look, we just associates. I don't even like that motherfucker. Pure Bible. Go look at all the pictures with me and him and how I was looking at him, telling him, get your hands off my goddamn shoulder. Don't you say me with my wife. You know what I'm saying? That boy is 25 years old. Diddy had no business being with him. Attempts. You collapsed inside of a jail cell, crying, and they didn't even take you to the hospital. They took you down to the nurse office, Pure Bible, and gave you a motherfucking freak off Tylenol and said, take your ass back to your cell. Because you should have known that boy was going to tell. He 24 or 5 years old during survival. You think he going to do 5 minutes in jail for you and he never did no time in jail? That motherfucker told like a motherfucker.
But a couple of miles away from Star Island, where one of those raids was happening, police caught Brendan Paul with a package of cocaine at the Opelika Executive Airport. The 25-year-old was arrested for possessing drugs, but today his record was wiped out after Miami-Dade prosecutors say he successfully completed a 6-month pretrial diversion program, which included a drug substance abuse course.
Engine F246345 state announces a null process for successful completion of PTI.
Despite his Miami-Dade record now being cleaned, his legal interactions might not be over. Paul hasn't been criminally charged in connection to his alleged boss, but the former basketball player for Syracuse University is mentioned in a lawsuit where he is described as allegedly managing Diddy's drugs and guns.
You hear that? Brendan motherfucking Paul was managing Diddy Glover's freak-off guns and his freak-off party. Salute to dog mom Laura. Just hit that super chat. This is Pure Bible dog mom. You know what I'm saying? Look at Brendan. Diddy Glover got the pimp motherfucking outfit on, the pimp Kermit the Frog green outfit on, Pure Bible. And look at him. He made sure Brendan had a freak-off purse. He had a freak-off purse with a whole bunch of baby oil, Pure Bible. You know what I'm talking about? And drugs and all that freaky shit that he had in that motherfucking pocketbook during survival. And look at Diddy. He in his motherfucking phone texting sex workers. Look, me and Brendan, we got that shit right now. Pure Bible. We gonna come, where y'all at? We trying to fuck tonight. You know what I'm saying? Look at this shit. And like they said, they wiped off this boy's record completely. They cleaned his whole entire record. You know what I'm saying? But they said he still ain't clear for the Diddy Glover case. So you know that he's telling on Diddy Glover. Yeah, we wiped this one out. But Brendan, you know the deal that we made. Pure Bible, you know the fucking deal.
A record now being cleaned, his legal interactions might not be over. Paul hasn't been criminally charged.
Y'all hear that? His legal actions is not over. Oh my God. Salute to dog mom. Just hit that super chat for the second time. Pure Bible. She said, Merry Christmas to all your members and your honey. Give me that honey love. Give me that honey love. Thank you so much, dog mom. Like I said, listen clearly. All his charges is dropped, his whole record and everything. But they said for the Diddy case, for the shit with Diddy, oh, you know that's a deal you got to do with that you done made already. So that case is not over. Listen clearly.
A record now being cleaned, his legal interactions might not be over. Paul hasn't been criminally charged in connection to his alleged boss, but the former basketball player for Syracuse University is mentioned in a lawsuit where he is described as allegedly managing Diddy's drugs and guns. He's also allegedly responsible for ensuring payments to sex workers, all while benefiting financially, according to records.
Do you hear that? This boy was making money off the sex workers, you know what I mean? The sex acts. He was managing the guns. Now, I ain't even going to front. Brendan Paul looked like a bad motherfucker. Pure Bible right here in this picture. You know, in the jail pictures, they make you, you know, your mugshot, they make you look kind of hard. Pure Bible. He looked like a bomber or some shit like that. You know what I'm talking about? Don't he look like he make bombs and shit? I'm not going to lie. Brendan, they said that he was the one that was in charge of the guns. You know what I'm saying? So he must be good at loading the ammo, oiling and greasing freak off mermaids. This shit is crazy. Y'all got to smash that like button. And just remember this: he ain't do no jail time yet. No jail time. They cleaned out his whole record and said, listen, you still got this situation with Diddy Glover, though. You know what I mean? Dog Mom. Oh, Dog Mom is a member, y'all. Hey, Dog Mom. This Gene Deal shit. Dog Mom. Dog Mom is a member, y'all. Hey. Look, don't let me say that because Gene Deal and Gene Deal's kneecap will be pissed off. Tell me why you using my motherfucking shit. You know what I'm saying? But look, the boy, the boy is not off the hook with Diddy Glover shit. Like we dropped everything and cleaned your record for you complete that program, but you still got to snitch on Diddy because you did too much. You did too much. You know what I mean? How is he even on the streets now when they know he loaded the guns? They know he was paying the sex workers and all of that. Make it make sense. How is he on the street when he was doing all of that? You know what I'm saying? And all he had to do was a program. I knew he was going to snitch all the way back when they first locked him up. Pure survival. I knew he was going to snitch back then.
All pros for successful completion of PTI.
Despite his Miami-Dade record now being cleaned, his legal interactions might not be over. Paul hasn't been criminally charged in connection to his alleged boss, but the former basketball player for Syracuse University is mentioned in a lawsuit where he is described as allegedly managing Diddy's drugs and guns. He's also allegedly responsible for ensuring payments to sex workers, all while benefiting financially, according to records. And Combs denies all the allegations against him. As for Paul, today his attorney confirmed the drop in Miami-Dade charges. However, he did not want to provide any more comments.
You hear that? His attorney agreed, yes, all his charges in Miami was dropped, but they said that the lawyer said they don't want to talk no more after that. You know what I'm saying? That lets you know right there.
Today, his attorney confirmed the drop in Miami-Dade charges. However, he did not want to provide any more comments.
He didn't want to provide any more comments, and he really didn't have to because I knew what that boy was going to do. You know what I mean? It only take a rocket scientist. He's 25 years old, pure to Bible, never been in jail, never been in trouble. He done got caught up fucking around with Diddy Glover and Diddy Glover's freak off saga. You know what I'm saying? But for the things he did for Diddy that's on file, I don't know how he not locked up for that now. Matter of fact, yes I do, because he's snitching. So listen, shout out to Diddy ex-bodyguard, Gene Deal and Gene Deal's kneecaps. I know Gene Deal ain't innocent, but Gene Deal was saying that that boy was going to tell a long time ago. Same as me, pure survival.
Well, what I believe and what I think, he wasn't just a drug mule, he was a plant. He's a CI. That's a confidential informant. He ran a case prior to him getting that case.
You hear that? Brendan Paul, that white boy Brendan, his whole record wiped out, pure survival. He was doing all that shit with guns, loading baby oil, and Gene Deal, Diddy's ex-bodyguard, Gene Deal and Gene Deal's kneecaps just revealed something that I forgot. Brendan Paul had a case before he caught the case with Diddy Glover. Pure survival. He already had a case. So he was he was working with the fucking feds to get Diddy from in the first place. Like, I'm believing that shit with motherfucking Gene Deal and Gene Deal's kneecaps. That white boy was probably planted there, you know what I'm saying? And, like, I don't know how true that is, but Gene Deal got a point, and Gene Deal's kneecaps got a point right here. He knew that that boy was going to tell. Like, this is crazy.
What I believe and what I think, he wasn't just a drug mule, he was a plant. He's a CI.
He was a goddamn plant, a CI. Salute to Bonnie Randolph. Bonnie Randolph just hit that super chat. Bonnie said, you know that he can't make it in jail. Don't drop the soap. Wow, I would snitch too. Pure survival. You're not lying, Bonnie. That man keep passing out and falling out and shit. But now he know that boy telling. Imagine what that white boy know. That's crazy.
Stop.
What you think about Diddy drug mule taking the plea deal?
Well, what I believe and what I think, he wasn't just a drug mule, he was a plant. He's a CI. That's a confidential informant. He already had a case prior to him getting that case with Diddy now. He probably already had a handler, somebody that he was just trying to work it out. And that's what he did.
So Gene Deal and Gene Deal's kneecaps feel like the first case that Brendan had, he was hired to, he made a deal to hang around Diddy and do some illegal shit to snitch on Diddy from the beginning. That's why he was hanging with Diddy Glover, to get rid of the first fucking charge he had. So this boy is on the streets after having numerous cases and was already guilty of doing these things with Diddy. So Diddy should know that he was going to fucking tell on you. And you keep passing out buck ass naked. Feels our Bible. Put some clothes on the next time you fall out, Diddy Glover. You can collapse all you want. Motherfuckers don't give a goddamn shit. People happy that this white boy telling on you, goddammit. Feels our Bible. Get those likes up, guys.
He probably already had a handler, somebody that he was just trying to work it out. And that's what he did.
You think he told him any information about Diddy?
Yeah, he got to. They're not going to give you a deal for nothing because you got caught with the drugs, because you say they was for Diddy and them. You got to give us something.
And you think they use it?
Smash that like button, guys. Get them likes up. Did you hear what Gene Deal and Gene Deal's kneecaps just said? The boy was snitching on Diddy already. I said this in the past. Gene Deal and Gene Deal's kneecaps said this when that boy first got locked up. And now all his charges just got dropped and they clean his whole record. Pure Bible. He had to make a deal.
He probably already had a handler, somebody that he was just trying to work it out. And that's what he did.
You think he told him any information about Diddy?
Yeah, he got to. They're not going to give you a deal for nothing because you got caught with the drugs, because you say they was for Diddy and them. You got to give us something.
And you think they're using all that information to indict Diddy?
Oh, no doubt. They're taking their time, bro. They working on this and they taking their time.
How you feel about the people that feel like, at this point, Diddy, his name is tarnished to the point that, his own kids, they can't benefit from his name?
I think because because Diddy built this whole aura that he was about family, his kids, and he was trying to make them great. He was trying to put them in certain positions and stuff like that. I believe that it's gonna hurt Justin. King Kong is out the window. It's gonna hurt him crazy. Quincy, maybe. It's gonna, people gonna look at them and say, yo, listen here. If we have them on movies, if we have them on this, what the mass public is gonna say.
About the freak off children. But like I said, that boy ain't built for no jail. I knew that from the beginning. So I knew that boy was going to tell. So I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm surprised that he told on Diddy Glover. I'm not surprised. When he first got locked up, I looked at that motherfucker. I said, where the fuck did they find him? He looked like the boy from Revenge of the Nerds. You know what I'm saying? When they first locked him up, he looked like he was about to tell when he was coming out the damn precinct. Pierce our Bible.
Brand new video just released shows the arrest of P. Diddy's alleged drug mule, who was taken into custody while trying to board the rapper's private jet. We don't hear a word from Brendan Paul, the alleged drug mule, but he doesn't look too happy when he's put in the backseat of a squad car.
You can look at Brendan's face right there. You can tell he was going to snitch right there. Pure Bible. Soon as he got them handcuffs behind his motherfucking back, pure Bible, and it wasn't the freak off, the handcuffs for the freak off. I knew this day when they put that boy behind them motherfucking handcuffs, pure Bible, he was going to start singing. Like the motherfucker, he was gonna start singing like what's this song? Maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me, and I found love. You're my wonder wall. I forget the name of that group, Pure Bible, but he was in that motherfucker singing. Soon as he got to the back seat, they said he was quiet up until he got in the back seat. Soon as the motherfucking cameras got out of his face, Pure Bible, he got a deal, and I'm not mad at Brendan. And I'm not gonna let y'all call Brendan a rat B word. I'm not going to let y'all call Brendan a rat B word during survival. Cause y'all would have told too. You motherfuckers would have snitched too. Brendan already had other cases, pure survival, before he caught the case with Diddy motherfucking Glover. I would have told too. Brendan probably was a victim, guys. Y'all don't understand. Brendan probably sat there and probably had to watch Diddy Glover have a freak off with Justin Bieber. Think about that. Because Diddy was looking at him like, oh, I like that, Daddy. Oh, Brendan, you remind me of Justin Bieber. You don't remind me of my Jeep, Brendan. You remind me of my Bieber. This is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So if this man was getting his biscuit buttered and and getting glazed, getting his donut glazed, he probably was happy to tell on Diddy Glover. He could have been a motherfucking victim during survival. So he snitched like he's supposed to snitch.
We don't hear a word from Brendan Paul, the alleged drug mule, but he doesn't look too happy when he's put in the backseat of a squad car.
Wow, this is really big. This is really big because you're thinking about this huge mogul. Like everyone knows who Puffy is, who Diddy is, who Puff Daddy is, who Sean Combs is. No matter what his name, you know who he is.
Here's everything we know so far about that alleged.
Look at this motherfucking boy right here. Pure survival. Ain't no goddamn way. Do you think that he going to somebody motherfucking prison, pure survival, you know what I'm saying, with Diddy Glover and the rest of, do you know the men that's going to see in prison that's going to look at Brendan's hair and want to run their fingers through his hair, pure survival? The men would see Brandon coming through there like, oh my God, look at that white boy right there. Oh, he got that long motherfucking hair. We can run our fingers through that red motherfucking raspberry goddamn hair. Brendan wasn't trying to have that pure survival. He didn't want to be in a jail cell with Bubba. Bubba would have been ramming his motherfucking thing all in Brendan's motherfucking rear end. Brendan had to protect his rear end. It's already bad enough, pure survival. Diddy Glover was clapping his cheeks. You think that he was loading the guns and had all them drugs and shit they caught on him, pure survival. Diddy and him both was drug addicts. They let him go to a drug program for 6 months, pure survival. Do you think that they offered Diddy Glover that fucking 6-month program? The world would have been outraged if Diddy Glover could have went and did 6 months and they'd have dropped his whole motherfucking record. Brendan did the right goddamn thing. I don't give a damn. Motherfuckers say, why is you promoting snitching? Look at this boy. Do you think he can do a month in jail, pure survival? You know he's going to be somebody's boo thing. They will be passing him around from cell to cell. They be doing him like what's those things they do again? I forgot, fishing. You know what I'm talking about? They fish in jail where they throw shit into other cells. You know what I'm saying? I've never fished before, pure survival, but I've been in prison and I've seen motherfuckers fish. And my cellie knew how to fish, pure survival. I need you to get me some cigarettes. The motherfucker in cell 36 got some cigarettes for me. You know what I'm saying? Them white boys know how to fish too, pure survival. And they'll get them cigarettes for me. So Brandon did not want to be on somebody's motherfucking hit list, on somebody's tasty cake hit list. So he told on Diddy, and Diddy collapsed in that motherfucker today. This shit, wow, pure survival.
who Puffy is, who Diddy is, who Puff Daddy is, who Sean Combs is. No matter what his name, you know who he is.
Here's everything we know so far about that alleged drug mule, Brendan Paul, and the P. Diddy case so far.
The question that I will have, and I'm curious to see what will happen, is that whether they're going to use those charges against Brendan to try to flip him, to try to get him to cooperate against any type of prosecution against Puffy or other.
Right.
And they knew that then. Did you hear what she just said? I want to know if they're going to use these charges that Brendan got with Diddy Glover and have Diddy Glover turn on and have that boy Brendan turn on Diddy Glover. They knew it from the beginning that was the setup. Once the feds put them charges on that boy, said, look, we're going to let you do a 6-month program, Here's our Bible, you know what I'm talking about? Go complete the program, and all you got to do is testify what you witnessed, what Diddy made you do, what Diddy forced you to do, even if he was doing it on his own, Here's our Bible. He has to tell them that Diddy made him do it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to get them likes up, guys. Them likes should be at 1,000. Here's our Bible. This is wow.
The question that I will have, and I'm curious to see what will happen, is that whether they're going to use those charges against Brendan to try to flip him, to try to get him to cooperate against any type of prosecution against Puffy or other.
Right off the bat, let's start by saying no criminal charges have been filed against P. Diddy. You know him as that Diddy, Puff Daddy, Puffy, Sean Combs. He's a rapper, record exec, and producer who's been in the spotlight for decades.
He's been in the spotlight freaking off for decades, and now it's like the shit done hit the fan. And he done got caught up with all these motherfucking people doing this freaky shit. And now, you know what I mean, you done got caught with that white boy. And man, Brendan is a good kid. Brendan ain't trying to go to jail with you, dude.
No names.
Well, he ain't a good kid. He ain't a good kid because he was breaking the law. But I'm saying you probably turned him out. You know what I'm saying?
That of Brendan Paul, who's listed as Diddy's mule, who allegedly, quote, acquires and distributes Mr. Combs' drugs and guns. On Monday, Paul was reportedly arrested at the airport in Miami while trying to board Diddy's private jet. Florida officers were working with Homeland Security and Customs when they found drugs in his bag. These drugs were tested and the result...
And the boy's supposed to had played motherfucking basketball. He was a basketball kid doing all of that illegal shit with Diddy Glover. Diddy, how did you pick him in the first motherfucking place? Bible. Were you guys dating? Because this is what I'm thinking. This is my opinion. Brendan, Bible, if you watching this, I'm thinking that Diddy Glover was your motherfucking pimp. Bible. You was his bottom bitch, Brendan. And you can be honest and let us know. Because Diddy Glover was clapping boy cheeks, women cheeks. So I'm thinking y'all was going together during survival. You just was good at loading guns, Brendan. You know what I'm saying? But this is where you came from. You was a basketball player. You know what I'm saying? You was like in all this type of shit. You know, but somebody turned you out during survival, Brendan. So if you met Diddy Glover on the freak off internet, on some freak off website, Pierce Bible, and y'all started dating and clapping cheeks, and then he turned you out and put you on to this shit, Brendan. Brendan said, I'm motherfucking telling on this dude. This shit, wow, I knew he was gonna tell. I fucking knew it. Pierce Bible.
Florida officers were working with Homeland Security and Customs when they found drugs in his bag. These drugs were tested and the results led to his arrest. He was booked for cocaine and controlled substance possession.
So far, Brendan has only been arrested for possession of a controlled substance, and this is for the narcotics that they recovered, I believe, in one of his bags that was on the airplane where he was stopped in the airport, Miami airport on Monday. So they haven't linked that to Puffy at all. As of now, it's just for the simple possession, which is still a felony. The question that I will have, and I'm curious to see what will happen, is that whether they're going to use those charges against Brendan to try to flip him, to try to get him to cooperate against any type of prosecution against Puffy or others.
Pay attention to what she just said. So if somebody say, oh no, he not snitching, they dropped his charges from him doing the 6 months. Yes, he did 6 months. They wiped out all his motherfucking his whole record. But that's because he agreed to testify against Diddy Glover. That's why he's passing out buck ass naked. You think that he was gonna get away with getting caught with drugs and all this shit, and he was just gonna get a 6-month program? Pure survival? Hell to the no. That boy been made his deal. He been made his deal with the feds already. Everything is about to start hitting the fan, guys. Why you think Jay-Z and Jay-Z's hair, he jumped out fighting from the door because Jay-Z don't want whatever the other alleged things that they can get on him, pure survival, because he's not in the clear yet. You know what I'm saying? He's not in the clear of other shit. You know what I'm saying? But they've been building and building and building this whole case with Diddy. Brendan's not the only one snitching on Diddy. You know what I mean? And Diddy is snitching on other people. So this shit is wild. You know what I mean? And now we just hearing it now. Brendan, all his charges, record drop. Won't y'all drop my motherfucking record? Bills the Bible. Wipe my shit clean. I'll tell on Diddy now. Diddy touch me. Diddy touched me last night in my dream. Pills the Bible. I went to sleep and Diddy tried to make me party and take me shopping. Buck ass naked. Pills the Bible. Joanna, Diddy tried to do something to me in my dream.
So far, Brendan has only been arrested for possession of a controlled substance, and this is for the narcotics that they recovered, I believe, in one of his bags that was on the airplane where he was stopped in the airport, Miami airport on Monday. So they haven't linked that to Puffy at all. As of now, it's just for the simple possession, which is still a felony. The question that I would have I'm curious to see what will happen is that whether they're going to use those charges against Brendan to try to flip him, to try to get him to cooperate against any type of prosecution against Puffy or others.
All of this means Brendan Paul is facing felonies in Florida and could even face more charges in the future.
I mean, a felony, you can still do jail time, so it's still a serious matter.
You hear that? Can even face more jail time in the future. This is what they let him know. You're going to do this 6 months to get this right here dropped, pure survival, but you know what you got to do for this other shit. That's the future charges they was telling him about already, pure survival. That boy told in the back of the police car. You know what I'm talking about? And I told you they offered him Chipotle, not McDonald's, pure survival. He got the steak wrap with extra motherfucking sour cream during survival. And that's why he told on Diddy motherfucking Glover.
Where he was stopped in the airport, Miami airport on Monday. So they haven't linked that to Puffy at all. As of now, it's just for the simple possession, which is still a felony. The question that I will have I'm curious to see what will happen is that whether they're going to use those charges against Brendan to try to flip him, to try to get him to cooperate against any type of prosecution against Puffy or others.
All of this means Brendan Paul is facing felonies in Florida and could even face more charges in the future.
I mean, a felony, you can still do jail time, so it's still a serious matter. It's still a serious charge because you can do jail time having to deal with felony possession of narcotics. But just because he just got charged with those 2 counts, it doesn't mean that in the future he's not going to be charged with several other counts. It all depends where this investigation leads. But again,
You hear that? It doesn't mean, like when the people that thought, oh, he just got his record expunged for doing the program, that everything was going to be over. No, his deal was to tell and be one of the witnesses against Diddy Glover. Cassie's a witness. Pure survival. This motherfucker Brendan is a goddamn witness. You know what I'm saying? Now, I understand if y'all was mad at Brendan Paul or Jake Paul, pure survival. Those motherfuckers are YouTube boxers that done turned and started becoming real boxers. Jake Paul just knocked out Mike Tyson, pure survival. So he can go to jail. But Brendan Paul is not motherfucker Jake Paul during survival. You know what I'm saying? He will get glazed. His donut would get glazed. So he had to fucking tell. That's why I try to tell y'all. Him going to that program didn't just wipe out everything that he got caught with and what he did with Diddy Glover. Pure survival. Yes, and Mike Tyson was 100 and something years old. Jake Paul wouldn't have never beat up motherfucking Mike when Mike was Mike. Pure survival. That was all about money. You know what I'm talking about? So I understand that.
All of this means Brendan Paul is facing felonies in Florida and could even face more charges in the future.
I mean, a felony, you can still do jail time. So it's still a serious matter. It's still a serious charge because you can do jail time having to deal with felony possession of narcotics. But just because he just got charged with those 2 counts, it doesn't mean that in the future he's not going to be charged with several other counts. It all depends where this investigation leads. But again, if I were Puffy, if I were anyone that were associated with Brendan Paul, I would be nervous because it's possible that he can't cooperate in order to avoid any jail time.
Now you see why Diddy Glover collapsed in his cell. Pure survival. This woman just let you know. This woman that looked like an avatar. Pure survival. She kind of looked like an avatar. But this avatar just said Diddy Glover should be nervous during survival because Brendan Paul can testify against him. Pure survival. So if Diddy Glover, like I said, the man passed out. He collapsed today. Then they said that, oh, he was in there in his cell praying. And that wasn't praying. Pure Bible. That man collapsed to his knees. And he wasn't making somebody's penis disappear. He wasn't performing oral sex or praying. The man buckled down to his kneecaps soon as he heard this. And like she said, the woman just said it. If I was Diddy, or anybody that was around motherfucking Brendan, Pure Survival, they all should be nervous.
Because he just got charged with those 2 counts, it doesn't mean that in the future he's not going to be charged with several other counts. It all depends where this investigation leads. But again, if I were Puffy, if I were anyone that were associated with Brendan Paul, I would be nervous because it's possible that he can't cooperate in order to avoid any jail time and actually sing on other people.
You heard that? And actually sing. I told y'all that motherfucker was in the back of the jail, in the back of that police car, talking about maybe, maybe, you're gonna be the one that saves me. And I found love. You're my wonderwall. That motherfucker was in there singing Pure Bible. Y'all got to get them likes up. We need them likes to be up to 1,000. Listen, how many of y'all, press 1, think that Brendan Paul is snitching on Diddy? That took a deal. All of his charges was wiped out. They cleaned his whole entire motherfucking record. Pure Bible. So press 1 if y'all think that he is one of Diddy's witnesses. That's telling on Diddy. Oh, thank y'all. I'm glad to see that we all in the same agreements. The boy got his whole record fucking expunged during survival. He got caught with drugs, loading the guns, was paying for the fucking sex workers. He was doing the same shit that Diddy Glover was doing. Pure survival, and got caught doing it. And they gave him a deal to say, look, we're going to wipe all this shit out, send you to a program, Pure survival. You come out in 6 months, you be good in time to do that singing on the stand in May at Diddy Glover's freak-off trial. You'll be ready to sing at Diddy Glover's freak-off trial. Pure Bible. Salute to Bonnie Randolph. Just hit that super chat again. You know what I mean? At this rate, Diddler is passing out monthly. When is he not passing out when he gets bad news? Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And Bonnie, every time the man pass out buck-ass naked, is not going to get rid of all of this stuff. It's like, these are the things that you allegedly did in the past, sir. And it's here to catch up with you. You know what I'm saying? Diddy, you wasn't doing all this shit by yourself. You had co-defendants. And Brendan was your motherfucking co-defendant during survival. You know what I mean? Salute to Valerie. Valerie just hit that super chat. We got $50 in the super chat, guys. And thanks, shout out to all of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Diddy Glover, I hope you watching this. People don't give a damn about you fucking buckling down and collapsing. You was doing this shit with these people, so you should know that they're going to tell on you. Smash that like button.
It's still a serious charge because you can do jail time having to deal with felony possession of narcotics. But just because he just got charged with those 2 counts, it doesn't mean that in the future he's not going to be charged with several other counts. It all depends where this investigation leads. But again, if I were Puffy, if I were anyone that were associated with Brendan Paul, I would be nervous because it's possible that he can't cooperate in order to avoid any jail time and actually sing on other people.
You talked about him flipping or working with prosecutors, investigators, and giving more details. What would all of that look like behind the scenes?
Ooh, well, it's something that we're not supposed to know about, but given that I used to be a prosecutor for 16 years, when it comes to cooperating, well, number one, he has to be willing to cooperate. And that's going to be a conversation between the prosecutors and his attorneys will talk to Brendan to see whether that's an avenue they want to take.
Exactly. So his attorneys already talked to him already, said, look, they're going to let you out. They're going to clean your record. All you got to do is do this program. Just snitch on Diddy. And we know you're a good kid. Pure survival. We'll get you a basketball for Christmas, Brendan. We'll get you a basketball, a skateboard. You can go back to being the regular white boy that you was, pure survival, before you went and became Diddy Glover's freak-off mule. Before you became Diddy Glover's freak-off mule, pure survival. You know what I'm saying? So Brandon took that deal. And this woman right here, I told this avatar, she was a prosecutor before. So she knows what she's talking about.
You talked about him flipping or working with prosecutors, investigators, and giving more details. What would all of that look like behind the scenes?
Ooh, well, it's something that we're not supposed to know about, but given that I used to be a prosecutor for 16 years, when it comes to cooperating, well, number one, he has to be willing to cooperate. And that's going to be a conversation between the prosecutors and his attorneys will talk to Brendan to see whether that's an avenue they want to take. I mean, personally, depending on how much exposure he has in terms of jail or how much exposure he has about pending other charges that can come about this entire investigation, it may be a question where he's like,
look at this motherfucker right here, pure survival. Do y'all got him doing a 5 to 10, 15, 20, 30 motherfucker years? Pure survival. Look at Brendan. Brendan like, I look like the black Brendan. Pure survival. Look at Brendan. That motherfucker ain't want to do none of that shit. I think Brendan was on drugs, pure survival, and I think that Diddy Glover and Brendan had a secret gay love affair. This is what I believe. You know what I'm saying? This is one of Diddy Glover's girlfriends. Did y'all ever see the TV show For My Man? Pure survival. I like watching For My Man. And Brendan should be one of the women that's on For My Man because he did all of this for his man. And Diddy Glover was his motherfucking man. Pure survival. Brendan did all Brendan want to do is smile. That's all Brendan want to do. He like, look, Diddy, I mean, I'm cool with us having our affair and all that shit. You got me loading the guns, doing all this type of shit. But I'm not trying to be nobody's bitch in jail. I want to be somebody's bitch on the street. Pure survival. Brendan like hell to the no. And he got a big ass motherfucking forehead too. He like, and somebody tried to crack his egg inside of jail. Pure survival. Brendan said, I can't do it, Diddy. You got to do it by yourself. And that's why that man collapsed down to his motherfucking knees, praying to the Lord. Diddy Glover got on the ground talking about, Father God, I know I was baby oil and greasing people's butt cheeks. Oh, Father God, please forgive me for all I have sinned. Father God, I know I was disgusted in this motherfucker. Pure survival. Father God, I know I needed to grow up and I had no business standing up on furniture talking about I'm the king of the world, buck ass naked. Father God, please forgive me. Diddy Glover buckled down to his knees and he praying to the Lord. But the Lord is like, you disgusting, son. You need to sit down and shut up and do the time because you did the crime. Pure survival.
Details. What would all of that look like behind the scenes?
ooh, well, it's something that we're not supposed to know about, but given that I used to be a prosecutor for 16 years, when it comes to cooperating, well, number one, he has to be willing to cooperate. And that's going to be a conversation between the prosecutors and his attorneys will talk to Brendan to see whether that's an avenue they want to take. I mean, personally, depending on how much exposure he has in terms of jail or how much exposure he has about pending other charges that can come come about this entire investigation, it may be a question where he's like, it's not worth it for him to cooperate because he'll be scared of any backlash. He'll be scared of being blacklisted in the industry, and he'll just be scared in general that he'll be known as the person that cooperated against Puffy. But this is a conversation that he needs to have with his attorney, and also for the prosecutors to determine whether they're even willing to.
And guess what? Brendan don't give a damn about testifying against Diddy no more. He don't give a fuck. He like, I just want to go back to my old life, pure survival. Brendan like, I got a boyfriend back home. I don't want to be in jail. I don't want to date Diddy Glover no more, pure
University's
survival.
basketball team for 2 years before transferring to Fairmont State University. According to a post on his Facebook, he started making beats on his laptop during the pandemic, which kickstarted his work in the music industry. Eventually, he found Diddy and worked on Diddy's Love album, Off the Grid, that was released last fall. Since his arrest a few days...
Okay, so Brendan used to make beats, play basketball, and make beats. And he found Diddy Glover when Diddy Glover started working on the Love album. So him and Diddy fell in love. So he probably was going steady with Diddy for probably a year or something like that. So that's when they fell in love during the Love album. And you remember Little Rodney, Pure Survival, said he was getting his cheeks clapped by Diddy Glover working on that album too. So Diddy was allegedly pounding out a few men and women and alleged children around that time making that album, talking about love, Pure Survival. And you sitting there oiling and baby oil motherfuckers down like that. Pure Survival, Diddy Glover!
Attorney, and also for the prosecutors to determine whether they're even willing to offer any type of cooperation deal to Mr. Paul.
Here's what we know about Brendan Paul so far. He's 25 years old and from Ohio. He played guard for Syracuse University's basketball team for 2 years before transferring to Fairmont State University. According to a post on his Facebook, he started making beats on his laptop during the pandemic, which kickstarted his work in the music industry. Eventually, he found Diddy and worked on Diddy's Love album, Off the Grid, that was released last fall. Since his arrest a few days ago, Paul has been released on $2,500 bail. The rest of what we know about Paul comes from Lil Rod's February lawsuit.
Oh, I knew it. He's Little Rodney. Little Rodney, the one that put that boy out. Pure Survival. Salute the goddess in the building. You heard what Goddess said. If you guys want to get your Pure Survival merch, all you got to go to is puresurvivalmerch.com. She got it right there in the link, www.puresurvivalmerch.com, and you can survive. We can survive together. We can go ahead on and survive together. You know what I'm talking about? Look at this motherfucker right here. Look at Brendan Paul. Diddy Glover's probably looked at his legs and his height, said, oh, I'm going to grease him down. Pure Survival. And then Brendan was look how Brendan looking at the black dude right there. He thinking about the baby oil on his shoulders and the sweat. So that's probably how he was attracted to Diddy Glover. You can see the attraction between them. So Brendan been seeing black dudes before he met Diddy Glover. Pure Survival. You know what I mean? And you know Diddy was seeing white guys, Chinese guys. He been in every motherfucking race of people, of men rear end during Survival. So they look like a great couple if this wasn't some illegal shit going on. But anyway, motherfucking Brendan and Diddy got together around the same time Little Rodney was talking about what he was talking about. And Little Rodney knew what he was doing with Diddy and how they both probably ran a train on Little Rodney. Who fucking know? Pure Survival.
Since his arrest a few days ago, Paul has been released on $2,500 bail. The rest of what we know about Paul comes from Lil Rod's February lawsuit that described him as a direct report of Diddy's chief of staff. That's Christina Quorum, who's also listed as a plaintiff in the lawsuit. As this so-called direct report, Paul would allegedly, quote, be responsible for ensuring payment for sex workers in cash. He also allegedly, quote, directly committed and perpetrated violations of Chapter 77 by aiding, abetting, and inducing the sex trafficking venture and sex trafficking of Plaintiff Jones. So Plaintiff Jones is Lil.
So how did that boy, if he didn't snitch, get out of all of that? Did he let that boy be in charge of all of that shit? That's why I said Brendan probably got some type of gangster in him that we don't know about. Pure Survival. Diddy had little motherfucking Brendan collecting the money. You know what I'm saying? So Brendan, who knows? Brendan might have been a tough guy on the low. Pure survival. He had loaded the weapons and shit. He walking up, yo, y'all got Diddy Glover's freak off money? Pure survival. Y'all got Diddy Glover's freak off money. He sent me here to get the freak off money. So Brendan was really down with the shit. And Little Rodney said it. You know what I'm saying? This is wild. This is the shit Brendan was doing. Read the paperwork.
As a direct report of Diddy's chief of staff. That's Christina Coram, who's also listed as a plaintiff in the lawsuit. As this so-called direct report, Paul would allegedly, quote, be responsible for ensuring payment for sex workers in cash. He also allegedly, quote, directly committed and perpetrated violations of Chapter 77 by aiding, abetting, and inducing the sex trafficking venture and sex trafficking of Plaintiff Jones. So Plaintiff Jones is Lil Rod, who alleges Diddy sexually assaulted him and forced him to have sex with.
Now, Rodney, I'm not going to lie, guys, and y'all might be mad at me for saying this. Pure survival. And Rodney, if you watching this dude, like, I don't know, because Diddy said that him and Little Rodney was consensual, pure survival. Little Rodney said he woke up and his tasty cakes was hurting, and he looked over and he seen Diddy Glover greased up, buck-ass naked, and he was greased up, buck-ass naked, pure survival, and Diddy Glover took his virginity. That Diddy Glover took his virginity. He was his first. You know what I'm saying? And you never forget your first during survival. But when you look at Little Rodney, I'm not gonna lie, Little Rodney, you look like you had a few boyfriends before you met Diddy Glover. Pure survival. I'm just saying, I shouldn't be judgmental. It's the hat that got me, Little Rodney. It's the goddamn hat with the jewels in the motherfucker. Pure survival. It just makes me think you had a boyfriend or two before you got with Diddy Glover. Pure survival, Rodney. You trying to say that Diddy was your first, that he was your first love, but you didn't want to be with him, and he wasn't paying you the money for the CD or the record y'all was doing, pure survival, and he just kept wanting to pound you and pound you out, but didn't want to cash you out, pure survival. I don't know, Rodney. It's the jacket for me, dude. Pure survival. It's the jewels all over the motherfucker. I don't know, Rodney, if you had a boyfriend or not. Pure survival. You know what I'm saying? But Diddy said it was consensual during survival. Diddy said that y'all used to go together. So I don't know, guys. You just don't know what to believe during survival.
So Plaintiff Jones is Lil Rod, who alleges Diddy sexually assaulted him and forced him to have sex with prostitutes. Lil Rod's lawsuit goes on to state that Diddy's associates, including Brendan Paul, would allegedly recruit entire...
Yes, and you know what? Hold on. I got to pause this shit. That's my whole thing. Like, I understand about the minors, pure survival. And I understand if Diddy gets you, put the shit in your drink and then you pass out or something like that. But Diddy ain't gonna force me to give up my motherfucking tasty cakes. Pure survival. I don't give a damn if I got a drink in my system or not. I'll be fighting that motherfucker. Pure survival. I'll be fighting that fucking shit. Whatever that high is, I'll be still fighting. If that shit make me handicapped, that shit make me fucking, the shit he make you drink that shit and half of your body go out. Pure survival. I'll be fighting him with the good arm. Like, get the fuck off me. Pure survival. I'll be fighting him with the good arm. The rest of the shit paralyzed, but I'm fighting to get him on. You're not touching my ass. Pure survival. So how is this man? Then they said Diddy had face banged some dude. Some dude said that Diddy Glover forced his, I mean, what the fuck? He said he face banged him. Like he face. How did you let that grown man hover over top of you and just shove his wiener inside of your face? Pure survival. I mean, I don't give a damn. You just go ahead to kill me at this point. Pure survival. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. That shit is kind of crazy. I don't know. But that man ain't, I don't give a damn. He not forcing the. Did y'all heard that? Dude said Diddy Glover face effed him during survival. You couldn't punch his dick out or nothing. You couldn't. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, I'm talking about you ain't got to bite the dick, but bite his motherfucker thighs. Spit the meat out. Pure survival. And then take off running like nothing. You had to eat that motherfucker up. That's crazy, guys. So Diddy probably thought you liked him at that point. Pure survival. He probably said, oh, I like that, Daddy. I knew you'd like me. You just went on ahead and sucked it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Diddy would have had to put me in the ground during survival. Fuck all that. That's a reason to die for. You not gonna make me eat your Eggo waffle during survival.
By aiding, abetting, funding and inducing the sex trafficking venture and sex trafficking of plaintiff Jones. So plaintiff Jones is Lil Rod, who alleges Diddy sexually assaulted him and forced him to have sex with prostitutes. Lil Rod's lawsuit goes on to state that Diddy's associates, including Brendan Paul, would allegedly recruit, entice, coerce, harbor, transport, obtain, and provide Mr. Jones, as well as others, into commercial sex acts through means of force, threats of force, fraud, abuse of process, and coercion.
I'm sure that those people that are named in that lawsuit are very nervous right now, very nervous, even more nervous now after the execution of that search warrant, but also nervous because he revealed about these secret recordings, and they're wondering whether...
And you can look how mean Diddy Glover look right there. Pure survival. Brendan looked like, what the fuck? It's like Diddy look mean. Diddy like trying to figure out, look, am I going to fuck him right now, Pure survival? Or are we going to wait till we done doing this song? But, oh, I'm getting horny right now, Pure survival. And Brendan just looking forward like this, like, oh, he about to clap my cheeks right now. I don't know. Like, look at this shit. Pure survival. Oh my God. Like, why do Diddy look so motherfucking sneaky in all his pictures now? Like, every time I look at a picture, you can just look at the shit and kind of put it together on what could have been happening. Pure survival. Diddy's trying to figure out, look, hold on, is we going to fuck right here, pure survival, or are we going to fuck in the freak off dungeon? Sometimes I like to do it in the studio. You know what I mean? And Brendan's just like, I don't know where he's going to fuck me at, but I'm just ready to get this shit over with. Pure survival. I don't know where he's going to fuck me at, but he's going to fuck me somewhere. Like, you can just see what this shit look like. This is crazy. Pure survival. Brendan snitch on Diddy. Let him pass out. Who gives a damn? The man took advantage of you.
Now after the execution of that search warrant, but also nervous because he revealed about these secret recordings, and they're wondering whether they could have been secretly recorded. Are there recordings of them engaging in these type of activities? Because even though it may not be criminal, some of those activities, it still does tarnish their image. So they can still take a toll in terms of their branding. But in terms of the lawsuit itself, it's very damaging. You got to think that several companies have already distanced themselves from Puffy, and they haven't.
And you know what? People that felt so terrible, like, damn, whatever Diddy probably got on tape, you know, in them freak off tapes or whatever, they're thinking about it destroying their careers. But they're not thinking about how much it may benefit them. When Diddy was secretly recording y'all, Pure Survival, what if you were doing something so freaky and nasty, you might get a porn contract? Pure Survival. You know what I'm talking about? Because y'all see, I don't know if y'all seen it. Kim Kardashian's sex tape with Ray J years ago, Pure Survival. I thought it was horrible. I said, oh my God, Kim Kardashian, like, her sex game it looked terrible. Pure survival. I was like, what the fuck? Like, this was a waste of... I turned it off. I'm like, this shit is not a turn on at all. Pure survival. So if he got some up-to-date freak-off tapes with Kim Kardashian in the freak-off dungeon, it probably can help her get a porn deal. They'd be like, all right, Kim Kardashian's sex game stepped up. Pure survival. She's finally not just sucking on the tip. She's getting the whole thing now, finally. Pure survival. All that lip surgery they be trying to do to have the lip, like, bitch, you wasn't born with them lips, Pure survival. But she's trying to look like, look, my dick suck game got way better than it used to be back with the Ray J. And you know what I'm talking about? Wait up, man. This shit is wild, guys. Pure survival. Smash that like button.
Mule. So he's getting different kinds of drugs for P. Diddy. He's also procuring prostitutes or sex workers. So if this is eventually investigated and prosecutors determine that there's enough to charge him, what sort of charges would he face?
Well,
y'all see that? The drug mule was doing a bunch of shit.
Of that civil lawsuit, but I think the most damaging, again, is Cassie's lawsuit. But more importantly, I think is Little Rod's lawsuit that was filed.
And in the civil lawsuit, Lil Rod specifically, that Brendan Paul is listed almost 20 times. It's alleged that he's a drug mule. So he's getting different kinds of drugs for P. Diddy. He's also procuring prostitutes or sex workers. So if this is eventually...
His name was listed 20 times, by the way. Brendan was listed 20 times. And he got off with no charges. You know he telling.
And in the civil lawsuit, Lil Rod specifically, that Brendan Paul is listed almost 20 times. It's alleged that he's a drug mule. So he's getting different kinds of drugs for P. Diddy. He's also procuring prostitutes or sex workers. So if this is eventually investigated and prosecutors determine that there's enough to charge him, what sort of charges would he face?
Well, what you can see from the civil lawsuit, that is possible that Little Rod would be serving as a witness in any criminal prosecution having to deal with Brendan Paul and him being.
So, Little Rodney, pure survival, Diddy Glover's, he said Diddy was his first. Little Rodney and what is his name? Paul, motherfucking Brendan Paul, Cassie, they're all going to be witnesses against Diddy Glover. Pure survival. You know what I'm talking about? Because I feel like Rodney told on Brendan, so Rodney told on Brendan first before Brendan told on Diddy Glover. Pure survival. Y'all got to think about that. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, the hat is look. Remember, I just told y'all I think that Little Rodney and Diddy really was consensual. I don't care what nobody say. Pure survival. Look at that hat. Y'all telling me that this is not a female signal? The thing with the jewels with the motherfucker. That's not a female hat. I don't know where the ladies at. The ladies in the house. Is this a female hat? And is that baby oil on his lips? Pure survival. You know what I'm talking about? I just need to know, is that a female hat? So hold on, look at the free hat. On the hat, that's what I said. Pure Bible. Little Rodney trying to say Diddy was his first and he never had a boyfriend before. There's no way. All right, so you saying it's not a female thing. I'm not, oh, that's his choice. Well, guess what? I'm not wearing that Pure Bible unless I got a boyfriend. And I'm into that shit. Shout out to the LBG community, Pure Bible. You know what I'm talking about? I have gay people in my family. I have people I consider friends that are gay. So we're not against gay people, pure Bible. So don't y'all dare try to say that. I'm just saying that Little Rodney looked like he had a boyfriend before Diddy Glover clapped his cheeks during survival. He's trying to say he never had a boy, that Diddy was his first. You can look at Little Rodney and tell he had him a few boyfriends. Little Rodney's boyfriend got a boyfriend. So I'm not going to sit here and lie, pure Bible. Yes, it's his hat it's his choice to wear that hat. But I feel like that hat is a sign of what you trying to attract. Pure Bible. That's all I'm saying. There's some he got some fraternal glasses where it's like made for women and men that I done purchased before. Like in the female section. Oh, can guys wear these too? Pure Bible. And they're like, no, Jamil, you can wear them too. But I'm talking about you got ones that where it looked exactly like it's for a woman during survival. You know what I'm talking about? So I wore some female shit. But you couldn't tell. Pure Bible.
Little Rod would be serving as a witness in any criminal prosecution having to deal with Brendan Paul and him being a drug mule. And where you're talking about him being a drug mule, he is facing significant jail time. First off, anything over a day or 2 days or even a month for someone who's never been arrested is significant jail time. But
y'all see that? Brendan was facing significant jail time for all the shit that he did with Diddy Glover. Pure Bible. Significant jail time. But he got his whole record expunged during survival. Ladies and gentlemen, because he told on Diddy. It's a bottom line. I don't know why anybody's surprised. They talking about, oh, Brendan, all his charges got dropped. His record got clean. Oh, well, of course. The motherfucker told. But you think that just him doing that 6-month program was all that he had to do? Oh, no. The 6-month program was a part of the deal during survival. We're going to send you to the program long as you snitch on Diddy Glover. And that was his deal from the beginning. Pure survival. Y'all got to get them likes for 400.
He is facing significant jail time. First off, anything over a day or 2 days or even a month for someone who's never been arrested is significant jail time. But I see Little Rod being one of the main witnesses if Brendan Paul were to be arrested for drug trafficking, because he's saying that he has direct knowledge and photographs that he can authenticate of Brendan Paul being in possession of narcotics in these parties or these gatherings that Puffy was having.
To be very clear, Brendan Paul doesn't face those criminal charges, only the controlled substance charges out of Florida. Let's pause this video just...
And look at that. That's exactly what Diddy probably saw.
To be
right
very
there.
clear, Brendan Paul doesn't...
They said, y'all know how it's 3 men that came out and said Diddy Glover, glazed they donut. That he glazed they donut. Pure survival. When he started working for Diddy, making music, Diddy was watching him on the basketball joint, and saw Brendan Paul's mouth wide open like that. And from the door, he said, "Ooh, I like that, daddy. I gotta get with that white boy. I like that, daddy." He saw that shit, and they just said that Diddy was forcing. He faced F somebody, and he see that boy with his mouth wide open like that. Pills on Bible. Come on now. Diddy said, "I gotta get him on my team."
Face those criminal charges, only the controlled substance charges out of Florida. Let's pause this video just for a second to thank Morgan and Morgan.
And I told y'all, man, this shit was coming down the motherfucking pike. And Jay-Z is not off the hook. You know what I'm saying? But I told y'all how I felt about that girl that was talking, that Diddy paid her father to make her look crazy, to try to discredit all these witnesses. You know what I'm saying? But Diddy, one thing he can't do, this drug mule, him, Cassie, and little motherfucking Rodney, that's what's gonna sink Diddy Glover's ship like big time, and whoever else they got. But them three right there, man, they let this boy off scot-free, record clean.
He was named Sean Diddy Combs' drug and gun mule in a civil lawsuit, but today he was cleared criminally from any charges in Miami-Dade County. Now, today, state attorneys dropped a drug charge against Brendan Paul that he had received the day Diddy's Miami mansion was raided.
ABC6 reporter Coercion joins us to explain.
In March, gates were busted and federal agents sworn into multiple mansions belonging to Sean Diddy Combs, including in Miami. Those raids led police to charge Diddy with sex trafficking and racketeering after finding guns, drugs, large amounts of baby.
Look at all of this shit. And they said that boy Brendan was in charge of all of this. The boy Brendan was in charge of the guns, the drugs, the baby oil, the paying the male sex slaves, the female sex slaves. You know what I'm talking about? He was the white boy. Diddy made him responsible for all of that. Pure survival. Why would he not tell on Diddy motherfucking Glover when they got army guns and shit like that? You know what I'm saying? I knew the day they locked that boy up, and I looked at him. Pure survival. I'm sorry, I was judgmental. When I looked at him, I said, "Is that the white boy from Revenge of the Nerds?" Revenge of the Nerds, I used to love that movie growing up. Pure survival. I said, "That's the dude from Revenge of the Nerds." You know what I'm saying? I knew right there. I said, "Oh, he telling. You can look." You know what I'm saying? And I knew it. I said, that boy don't even belong to be in this type of shit. You know what I'm saying? And look what happened, guys. He got out scotch-free. He got caught with, at the time of Diddy's raid and all that. He was getting on Diddy's freak-off private freak-off jet, getting ready to take off in the motherfucking sky, and he got caught in that and got 6 months drug program. Come on, man. Pure survival.
Police to charge Diddy with sex trafficking and racketeering after finding guns, drugs, large amounts of baby oil, and lubricant related to alleged violent sex events, according to records.
Brendan Paul on page 16, please.
But a couple of miles away from Star Island, where one of those raids was happening, police caught Brendan Paul with a package of cocaine at the Opelika Executive Airport.
Once again, like I told people in the beginning, this was Brendan Paul's shit. And how is this personal use? Pure survival. Somebody tell me that motherfucker had a cereal bowl full of fucking cocaine. Pure survival. Hear that motherfucker? Oh my God. Oh, this shit good right here. Diddy, come on, try some of this shit. Diddy going down there. Ooh, I like that, daddy. Oh, I like that, daddy. Where you get that from? Both of them running around the house like rich crackheads. Pure survival. Ain't nothing worse than a rich crackhead. I'm used to the poor crackhead. The crackhead you can't trust, but they'll clean the shit out of your motherfucking car and different shit like that. Pure survival. You know what I'm talking about? Like for $5. You know what I'm saying? Like the crackheads that live forever. I'm used to those crackheads. The ones you give crack to and they let you rent out their car. Pure survival. And when they want more crack, they'll end up, if you don't bring them more crack back, they'll call the fucking cops. Pure survival and say you stole a car. Those crackheads. But Diddy Glover, these are rich crackheads. Pure survival walking around the freak off dungeon, hiding the motherfucker. Buck ass naked, dick hard, thinking of some nasty shit they could do. Hey, what do you think you want to do? Pure survival. You know what I'm talking about? And Diddy me like, I don't give a fuck. Whatever I want, I have to get. Whatever I want, I have to get. So give me some that. I want a buck naked midget. I want a buck naked midget that's 13. Here's a rifle. Them motherfuckers was disgusting. Look at this shit. Brendan got caught with all this motherfucking shit. Here's a rifle. And he done got on. Brendan done made him a deal.
But a couple of miles away from Star Island, where one of those raids was happening, police caught Brendan Paul with a package of cocaine at the Opelika Executive Airport. The 25-year-old was arrested for possessing drugs, but today his record was wiped out after Miami-Dade prosecutors say he successfully completed a 6-month pretrial diversion program, which included a drug substance abuse course.
And in that,
Whole record wiped out. Whole record wiped out? Brendan was facing charges, pure survival, before he got caught with Diddy Glover. He was facing other charges. So you wiped out his whole motherfucking record. His whole shit got expunged. Pure survival. I got a DUI when I was 23. I'm 42 right now, pure survival. So I don't even remember how many years. What's that, 20 years ago, pure survival? And they never expunged my goddamn DUI. I didn't hit nobody or nothing. Pure survival. I was coming out the club 2:30 in the morning, drunk as a motherfucker, pure survival, and I was driving without no lights coming down Water Street. And the motherfucking cops told me to get out the motherfucking car. I get out the car, they gonna tell me to count backwards from 100. Pure survival. I said, listen, I can't count backwards from 100 even if I was sober. Pure survival. Take me to the hospital and get my motherfucking blood. Go ahead on and run the shit. You know what I mean? They told me to count backwards from 100. I bet that motherfucker, I think I tried it though. I was like, hold on, 100. 99, 98, 97. See, I can do it now, pure survival, because I'm sober. But you can count backwards from 100 right now, pure survival. It ain't as easy as it sounds. And when they said that shit when I was drunk, I said, fuck it. Take me on down to the hospital, get my blood or whatever, and go ahead and give me the DUI, pure survival. And I got the ARD program where I had to do probation. I had to do no jail time, but I didn't tell on nobody, pure survival. I remember one time I went to jail. This is a relationship I was in, and the female I was with at the time called the police on me, pure survival. You know what I'm saying? Man, no, I called the cops. Man, back, I called the cops. I said, I need an officer to come to this house just to help me get my shit about this house. This was like 7, 8 years ago, pure survival. The woman I was with at that time was crazy as the motherfucker. I'm like, please send an officer over here. And they like, did she hit you? I said, no. Did she try to stab you? I said, no. All I need is for a cop to come to make sure I get my shit. These motherfuckers come to the house. I swear to God, my life, I can't make this up. Pure survival. They went up, they talked to me for a minute, made me think that they were my friends. I had one shoe on and one shoe off. I had to run out front. Pure survival. She throwing pots and pans and dishes. We both drunk. I'm trying to get the fuck. They went upstairs and talked to her, came downstairs and looked at me and said, put your hands behind your back. I said, oh, what the fuck did she tell y'all? Pure survival. They took me to the jail and charged me with public intoxication. How you gonna give me public drunkenness when I had to call the cops from outside? Pure survival. I went out on my front porch to call the cops to get her, not to get me out of this house. And they took me to jail. Swear to God. But I only went for 6 hours. Pure survival. I had to sit there. They said you had to sit there until you detox. I got out of jail so fast, I thought I told on somebody. I said, God damn, I never went to jail and got out that motherfucker quick. Pure survival. I got out of jail so fast, I thought I told on somebody. I said, hold on, did I tell on the motherfucker? Because I was sitting up in that holding cell for that whole 6 hours, hoping that nothing pop up in another county. I'm like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? But I walked right out the door, but they let me out so fast, I thought I told on somebody. I thought I did a Brendan Paul. This is crazy.
Drugs, large amounts of baby oil, and lubricant related to alleged violent sex events, according to records.
Brendan Paul on page 16, please.
But a couple of miles away from Star Island, where one of those raids was happening, police caught Brendan Paul with a package of cocaine at the Opelika Executive Airport. The 25-year-old was arrested for possessing drugs, but today his record was wiped out after Miami-Dade prosecutors say he successfully completed a 6-month pretrial diversion program, which included a drug substance abuse course.
Engine F246345 state announces a null process for successful completion of PTI.
Despite his Miami-Dade record now being cleaned, his legal interactions might not be over. Paul hasn't been criminally charged in connection to his alleged boss, but the former basketball player for Syracuse University is mentioned in a lawsuit where he is described as allegedly managing Diddy's drugs and guns. He's also allegedly responsible for ensuring payments to sex workers, all while benefiting financially, according to records.
So let it be known, like they said, Brandon is not off the hook. That 6 months, that was a deal. That was a deal to snitch. But he's going to have to testify against Diddy Glover. Trust and believe me. They done already told him, listen, you're going to do a 15 to 20, 30, to 10 to 20, something crazy already. They done scared him with to even get that deal. That's why they said Brandon is not off the hook at all. Pure survival.
Null process for successful completion of PTI.
Despite his Miami-Dade record now being cleaned, his legal interactions might not be over. Paul hasn't been criminally charged in connection to his alleged boss, but the former basketball player for Syracuse University is mentioned in a lawsuit where he is described as allegedly managing Diddy's drugs and guns. He's also allegedly responsible for ensuring payments to sex workers, all while benefiting financially, according to records. And Combs denies all the allegations against him. As for Paul, today his attorney confirmed the drop in Miami-Dade charges. However, he did not want to provide any more comments.
Now you see that? His attorney confirmed that all the charges was dropped in Miami, but he don't want to speak about anything else. Common sense. Pure stone cold survival. So Diddy Glover, you can keep collapsing, buck ass naked, pure survival. Nobody gives a motherfucking damn, dude. You know what I'm talking about? You do crime, you got to do the time, Diddy Glover, pure survival. You got motherfuckers sticking up for Jay-Z and sticking up for Jay-Z's hairstyle. You know what I'm saying? The moment that he was accused of these alleged acts, not one person stood up for Diddy Glover. That's how you know that that man is creepy during survival. Out of all the people that done went to your free calls, all the years you've been in the industry, not one motherfucker stood up for you but Stevie J and his love and hip-hop facial expressions and his thin-ass mustache. That's the only one that stood up for you, Diddy Glover. Shout out to all of y'all, man. My Instagram is Jamil Peterson, Mr. I Am Comedy. Follow me, and I'll follow you back. And if you want to get you some Pure Survival merch, go to www.puresurvival.com. No, puresurvivalmerch.com. You know what I mean? Shout out to all my members. You know what I mean? Shout out to all my renters. You know what I'm talking about? You see a goddess in a motherfucking building. She be on point. You see what she said? God has got it right there. www.puresurvivalmerch.com. Damn it. You know what I'm talking about? And I'll be back with y'all later on with another episode of Surviving the Industry. You know what I'm saying? And this was Pure Stone Cold Snitching Survival at this goddamn